Hi guys, I'm back with another video. I married my rapist and had 6 kids by age 16. Let's get into it. Sherry was just 9 when she was first raped by the 18-year-old deacon of her church. And when she told her mother, she didn't believe her. She was raped by a man that you would think she can trust, the deacon of her local church. The deacon, y'all. See, that's what make people weary and people so nervous about going to church or doing anything like that. Because they've been finding out these places, they've been doing little crazy stuff, messing around with kids and all kinds of stuff. They got stuff all over the news about this nonsense. He was 18 and targeted Sherry because she was young. Her mother and her sisters were out at church and she was home alone. Sherry's attacker let himself into her home, the one place she should have felt safe, but was sexually abused. It was the worst experience she would never forget. Now, y'all listen to this. This is crazy. This is how easy for them to even get in their house. She said, all you had to do was walk down the steps from the church and you walk into our kitchen. So their house was connected to the church. She said, and that's where he raped her. She woke up several times with him on top of her. Terrified but certain something very wrong had happened to her, Sherry confided in her mother and begged her to help her understand what she'd been through. Her mother's reaction was one she didn't expect. She refused to believe her young daughter and even went as far as telling the whole church congregation that Sherry was a liar. Wow. And see, that's why a lot of times when things happen to people, they don't want to tell people because they feel like they'll get a reaction like this. Nobody's going to believe me. This the deacon or this is this person. And that's why these type of people do this stuff, because they feel like, oh, I'm in this position. Nobody's going to believe it. A lot of times that's what people tell these kids. Oh, nobody going to believe you. I'm going to hurt this person in your family. I'm going to do this to this person. Like teachers, they'll go mess with a young child and they'll tell them, oh, nobody's going to believe you. I'm the teacher. And in this case, he's the deacon. So, of course, he's making her think, oh, nobody's going to believe it. And then your mom don't even believe you. That has to be hard. Sherry said, I didn't understand what really took place. I did tell my mother. I had no idea what words to really use. The only thing that came to mind was, I remember I said, Mom, the deacon messed with me. And really, that's all she should have had to say to her mom. Your child come to you with something like that? Oh, you'll be checking on it. But her mom didn't believe her. Her mom said, no, he did not. He don't do that kind of stuff. And she also said, that's not true. Sherry said, her mom seemed like she blamed her for what happened. Now, y'all listen to this part. This is sad. Like this girl over here getting raped, but this is what her mom is saying. Her mom told the people that she was fast. Her mom would get in the church and tell the members, don't believe my daughter. I was a sacrifice to cover up what he did. So at this point, Sherry was upset and she felt like she needed to run away, but she was 9 years old. She had nowhere to go. So after all of this, her going through being raped and everything, being accused of telling stories, being a liar, being fast, she finds out that she's pregnant at age 9. So at this point, Sherry was going through some body changes, didn't know what was going on. So her mom ended up taking her to the doctor and found out she was expecting a baby. So of course, social workers were involved and they asked Sherry who the father was. But then, of course, Sherry's mom told her she was making the family look bad. So, of course, Sherry did not tell who the father was or what happened. So she was sent away with the bishop, and on her way to Tampa to Miami, he pulls over and raped her while she was 7 months pregnant. Really, this little girl went through some stuff, boy. Sherry gave birth in a hospital while staying with the bishop thousands of miles from home, and her mother didn't even visit her young daughter or new baby granddaughter. Social services or the police were not called, and 2 years later, Sherry was forced to marry the man who had been sexually abusing and raping her since she was a child. I've heard so many stories like this. Like, they end up making the child marry the man that raped them. They already had to go through all this trauma of being raped, but then now you're making her marry this man. She had a baby from him, so now she's gonna feel some type of way. The mom didn't believe him. Like, this is some crazy stuff. They said their vows in the church she had attended all her life. The judge refused to issue a marriage license, but the mother went to a neighboring country to get one. Florida had failed her. The school knew, the hospital knew, the doctors knew, the courts knew. Nobody protected her. Not one person. Not one. Her mother made the wedding cake, the dress, and even a veil for her 11-year-old daughter to marry a 20-year-old man that had been raping her all these years. Really? Sherry realized no one was coming to help her. Every year after her wedding, Sherry gave birth to another baby, and by the time she was 16, she was a mother of 6. The deacon vanished and was even sent to prison for not paying child support, but when she tried to launch a divorce proceedings, she was unable to because she was under 18. She finally found someone that would take her case. She was finally free of the deacon, but she was still a teenage mom of 6. She has gone on to have 3 more children, and she was honest with her kids about what happened to her when she was young. 4 years ago, after being forced to drop out of school to be a wife and a mother, Sherry finally got her high school diploma at 55. She now works to help other children and young women who are forced to become child brides. Sherry says, I am a mother of 9 children. I am a grandmother of 34 grandchildren. I'm a great-grandmother of 3 children and 1 on the way, and I'm grateful for all of that. It was hard, but I endure. The most grateful thing that I say is happening for me right now is to be able to talk about what happened in my past, to be able to help others. I was raped. And not only that, I was forced to marry my rapist at the age of 11. I ended up in a situation where it wasn't easy to get out of, and that's one of my reasons for doing what I do. My children, they are proud of me coming forth. They'd say, go for it, Mom. Do what you feel like you need to do. I'm happy for you. I consider myself a voice for the voiceless. In the U.S., Alaska and North Carolina had a minimum age limit to marry of 14 in 4 states. Now is 15, and 20 states is 16, and in 8 is now 17. The sad part about this case is the fact that she was only 9 years old and got raped, and they made her marry the man that raped her. No child should go through that, for one. For 2, no child should be marrying somebody if they can't consent to wanting to, marry somebody. You can't even drink, you can't even smoke it until a certain age, but you're going to let a child marry a grown man at age 11? Raped at 9, married this man at 11. And by age, 16? She had 6 kids. She was a teenager when she had 6 kids. And her mom was okay with this. Everybody's okay with this. The school knew about it. The hospital knew about it. Social workers, everybody knew about it. Nobody had anything to say. Nobody stopped it. Nobody helped her. She went through all of this. And they do this stuff. They allow kids to get married. Like, a man wants a child. Why? You a pedophile. Like, you wanting a little child. But it's okay certain places for them to marry little young kids. Like, why don't you get a grown woman? You want to be in control? Is that what it is? You want a child to be in control? Like, get a woman. Go marry a woman. Why you want to marry a child or mess with a child? That's just like so sickening to me. And some people are just okay with this. And some places just allow this stuff to happen. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm getting too emotional about this whole situation. So I'm going to just let y'all comment down below how y'all feel about this whole situation. Give me a thumbs up on my video. Subscribe to my channel if you hadn't already. Subscribe to my other channel if you hadn't already. Make sure you check me out on social media. And make sure you check out my shop. Make sure you click that bell for notification of my videos. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, be blessed.
Anyway, enough of that stuff.